Yep. Yo, Rob, you hear that?
Oh, I hear that. What is that?
It's the sound of the new takeover in fantasy sports, brought to you by Bet Angles with the player pick'em contest, computer-generated sports betting picks, and sports research tools. Together, we will rise to the top. It's Friday, September 4th, 2020, and my name is David Dietrich, a.k.a. Double D. I'm here with my good buddy, Robert Smith. They call him Twitch.
What's up, everybody? Our mission here at DFS Rebels is to cash in DFS, dominate season long, and kill the sports books. We aren't going to go on and drag it out for 60 minutes plus like other podcasts out there. No, we're going to bring you all the hard-hitting content right off the bat. And we have all the content for everybody, even the kids, because here at DFS Rebels, we're for the children. And I've already dragged on for way too long, so let's get the show on the road. It's time to join the rebellion.
Yes, sir.
This is huge. This is ginormous. This is epic. Dave, what are we discussing on the first edition of DFS Rebels podcast?
Well, we're here to tell everybody our top 5 bold predictions of the NFL 2020 season.
5 each, right?
5 it is. I'll start things off with my first bold prediction of 2020. My first prediction of 2020 is that I believe the Minnesota Vikings will make it all the way to the Super Bowl this year. Last year, they went 10-6. They came in second in the division to the Green Bay Packers. They lost to the 49ers 27-10 in the divisional playoffs last year. This offseason, they added some weapons. They added stud receiver Justin Jefferson in the first round.
Love him.
He's coming off a monster season with the LSU Tigers and winning the national championship. He should start the season off as a wide receiver 3 on the Minnesota Vikings. They also signed Tajay Sharp from Tennessee, who will probably go into wide receiver 2. But in my eyes, they drafted Jefferson. He knows he's a stud. They know he's a stud. You think he's a stud?
He's a stud. They drafted him with their first pick for a reason. They know what he brings to the table.
So I think down the line, maybe week 5, maybe week 6, he's going to overtake Tajay Sharp. We all know Tajay Sharp is just mediocre at this point of his career. Nobody big. But you can't always forget about Dalvin Cook. He's the workhorse running back. He's going to get all the carries, all the touches. The offense is running through Dalvin Cook. He has also one of the top handcuffs in the league in Alexander Madison. Now, with all those weapons, they can score a lot of points. With all those weapons, they have a stout defense to pair up with that, led by Eric Hendricks, linebacker, other linebacker Anthony Barr, safety Harrison Smith, DN Daniel Hunter, and newly required defensive lineman Yannick Ngakoue to help them with the loss of Everson Griffin. They have the talent to win the NFC North, and I think they can make a run all the way to the Super Bowl.
I like it. You know what? What's funny is my first prediction, is going to bounce right off yours because it's also part of the Vikings. I think Dalvin Cook, that sexy beast himself, is going to finish top 1 or 2 fantasy running back this season. And I'm not the only one who thinks this because in the NFC, his ADP is number 4. So everyone sees his potential. I'm not the only one. He's going to be clapping cheeks all season. The Pro Bowler from last year carried 250 times for over 1,100 yards. He caught 53 catches for just under 520 yards. He had 13 touchdowns. You already said everything you needed to say about the Vikings that's going to help him get to where I think he's going to be, which is one of the highest scoring fantasy backs of the season. Dave, what's your next one? Give it to me. Make it good.
I believe T.Y. Hilton will lead the AFC in targets this year.
I got to hear this one.
Yes, sir. Phillip Rivers is in town. He's the new QB now for the Indianapolis Colts. Did you know that?
I did know that, yes. I have not been living
And tell me one thing Phillip Rivers likes to do.
He chucks it.
And who does he chuck it to?
Well, besides for tight ends, I see where you're going with this.
Yes, indeed.
He does throw it to the
T.Y. Hilton will have a monster season this year.
The number 1 wide receiver, yeah.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. In the last 4 seasons, Keenan Allen's been Phillip Rivers' number 1 target, correct?
Correct.
His targets in the last 10 seasons has been 9, 8.8, 8.8, and 8. Now, T.Y. Hilton will average more than that. I think he's going to average around 10 targets this year. With the AFC lacking in receivers, they have guys like Tyreek Hill and OBJ still there. But I think T.Y. Hilton has the golden opportunity to lead the AFC in targets. I'm looking to draft him in most of my leagues, where his ADP is 60, but he's usually getting drafted around the 6th round.
Yeah, 6th, 7th round. You're right. I understand that. All right. Listen, I got a good one for you. I got one that's
Tell me something spicy.
It's so spicy, it's going to make your taint tingle.
Woo!
Listen, the Chiefs are not going to make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Oh my God! You did not just say that. Just now.
Listen. I'm not drunk. I'm not high. Listen,
You know they were the Super Bowl champions last year,
I do.
correct?
Listen. The American Conference is tough. The AFC West Division is tough. I get it. I know how good they are, but the cat's out of the bag. You know how to beat them now. You run on them. You run on the Chiefs. You milk that clock. You keep Mahomes off the field. And everyone, if you were cashing on DFS last year, you were cashing because you were probably using the running back going against the Chiefs. I understand they're the best offense in NFL. Mahomes is still going in the second round.
Stud. Just got paid. Huge.
Yeah, too much. He's still going in the second round. So's Tyreek Hill. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going in the first round. That's crazy. Kelsey's going in the second round. I get it. I know what they're doing. But they're not making it to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy. But you know what? I want more craziness. Dave, give me some crazy.
Oh, I got crazy. I got very crazy.
Shit,
You know what?
The hair on my balls are already standing up.
Oh yeah, here we go. Hey, listen to this. The Washington football team.
Love it. Love that name. Like, that's a great name.
We're off to a good start. Like, what the heck is going on? Did they even have a team name this year? Like, what's going on with that? Unbelievable.
When you just said that name, you froze there for a minute. Like, you couldn't believe. You were just like... you just
I
said
can't
that.
believe that that's their football team. But let me continue. Let me continue.
All right.
All right. The Washington football team is going to have a top 10 defense this season.
Ooh.
Yeah, very spicy, very spicy. But listen to me. Hear me out.
I'll hear you. I'll listen.
They're still not very good on the offensive side. I know that. But they did improve on the defensive side. So here we go with what I'm about to tell you. They added Chase Young in the draft out of Ohio State. This guy is going to be a phenom. He's good. He's going to be damn good. They have some returning starters from last year. They have Jonathan Allen. They have Deron Payne in the middle. They have Matthew Ioannidis on the DN. And don't forget about Montez Sweat, who was their first-round pick last year. This defense will bring pressure without blitzing, which is key in the NFL. Last year, Jonathan Allen, 6 sacks. Matthew Ioannidis had 8.5 sacks. Montez Sweat, as a rookie, 7 sacks.
Ooh, that is it.
Yes, Chase Young now, last year in college, 6.5 sacks. That's huge.
That is huge.
And then this one gets me right here. 21 tackles for a loss. That's just incredible.
That's great.
Yes. So this is going to be a good team on defense, I believe. They're going to be much improved. Cornerbacks, you could probably still throw on them. They did get Donald Darby for a 1-year prove-it deal. But at the end of the day, with Chase Young coming into town, I think they have the top
What? Top what?
top defense.
Top 5, top 10?
Top 10
Listen, me and you are
defense next year.
going to put money on that one.
All right. I mean,
Because I don't believe you. That's a good take, but we're going to put money on it.
Okay.
What are you saying? Top 5 or top 10?
Top 10. Top 10.
Okay.
Top 10.
I'll still put money on that. I don't think they're going to be top 10.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got one for you.
We'll see what happens this year. We'll see.
All right. I got one for you. My next hot take. Got a fireball for you. Yeah. I don't think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, really? Really? Wow.
Listen. They lost a bunch of key pieces.
Okay.
They lost a key piece in DeForest Buckner.
Yes, that was huge.
Jimmy Grapes, very efficient. I'm a big fan of his, but he's just not what they hope. I think he will be eventually, but he's not right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's going ADP like 140, so obviously no one's really high on him. But last year, this team gave up the top 15 most penalty yards. They gave up the top 6th highest turnover percentage rate.
Did not know that.
Yep, I don't see them getting better. There's going to be regression, and they're not going to make the playoffs.
Wow, that's big. That's spicy. Sriracha. Speaking of sriracha, it's hot in Arizona, and I believe the Arizona Cardinals will make the playoffs after going 5-10-1 last season.
Here we go. That was a good way to transition.
Yeah. So first things first. Let's talk about this ridiculous trade the Arizona Cardinals got away with the Houston Texans.
I'd rather not. It reminds me of my last relationship. She got everything, and I got nothing.
What was Bill O'Brien thinking, dude?
I don't know, but everyone in Arizona needs a Bill O'Brien jersey.
Yes, indeed. All right. The Cardinals received DeAndre Hopkins, a second-round pick in 2020, a fourth-round pick in 2021, for David Johnson, and a fourth-round pick. So, as you say, the Cardinals definitely got the best part of that deal.
The offense is going to make it out. Yeah, you're right. You're right about the Cardinals. You know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Bill O'Brien must have been smoking some good stuff at that time, so I don't know. It's just unbelievable. All right, so let's talk about what else they got in that team. The Cardinals, they got Larry Fitzgerald, future Hall of Famer.
Larry Legend.
Yep, Mr. Consistent himself, coming back. He should be extra motivated because the Cardinals, I believe, are going to be a good, solid team this season. They also got Christian Kirk at wide receiver 3. He's pretty solid. And let's talk about the running back now. Kenyon Drake. Not a fan of him, but I know you are. I know you picked him up on a couple drafts.
I did.
Tell me something good about him.
Listen, last year when he went there, when he finally got away from Gase, he only played, I don't have all the stats in front of me, but he only played 14 games. I know he had his highest rushing yardage. He had his most rush attempts, his most touchdowns. He had his longest rush. So there's nothing not to like about him. I think he has the potential to be an absolute all-star for this team.
All right. I mean, like I said, he had a solid season last season. I don't know. I just want to see what he can do. But if he can do what he did last year, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a tough to beat. All right, let's talk about defense. Their defense isn't that good. I definitely want to talk about Isaiah Simmons, who out of Clemson. He was the first-round pick. He had 16.5 tackles for losses. This guy is a stud. He had 8 sacks. He definitely brings the pressure. And he's a good pairing with Chandler Jones. I don't know if you remember Chandler Jones last year. He had 19 sacks. Mm-hmm. My prediction, they're going to make the wild card, and they're going to go 10-6 and make the wild card this season.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's my take on the Arizona Cardinals making it to the playoffs.
All right. I got one. It's not a season long. It's just for week 1. I'm predicting Big Ben. He's back. He's made.
Yes,
he's bad.
He is back. He's back.
He is going to be top 3 quarterback in week 1.
Ooh. Wow.
Listen.
Ooh.
Do you know he's going up against the Giants?
Okay.
The Giants secondary.
Absolutely awful.
I think your mom plays for them. I think
if she does, she never told me.
I think my grandma's out there.
Okay.
Their secondary is awful.
Absolutely.
You can talk about Juju, Claypool. Let's talk about Deontay Johnson, Ebron. They're all catching touchdowns around the Giants. It's going to be a massacre. Big Ben locked in week 1.
You're locked in on Big Ben? Well, I'm locked in on Gardner Minshew, baby. It's Minshew season, baby.
Oh, shit.
I'm predicting Gardner Minshew is going to be a top 10 quarterback this fantasy season.
Out of your fucking mind.
Yes, and let me tell you why. We all know Leonard Fournette is out. They have no running game whatsoever. They're going to be forced to throw a lot this year from behind. Their team is not good at all. Their defense is poor. Their offense is going to sling it. Gardner Minshew has the tools to have a big, productive fantasy season. They have a great receiving core. They have DJ Shark, who had a solid season last season. They had D.D. Westbrook, average, but he has speed. He has a speed on the outside. He's good for the deep ball. They drafted a phenomenal rookie in the first round, Laviska Shenault. He's a big body receiver, very physical. He has Anquan Bolden comparisons. Nice pairing with the speedy receivers and D.D. Westbrook and Shark. And then last but not least, they had Chris Conley, who I thought, in my eyes, was a solid receiver myself. So, in the end, Minshew is going to kill it this season. I feel like top 10 is easy for him if he can stay healthy, because they do have a bad offensive line. But in my eyes, Minshew is the way to go.
Huh? All right. Absolutely. Well, for my last hot take, I am predicting Zach Moss is going to outproduce Singletary this season, at least in fantasy value.
All right, tell us. That's juicy. Right. It's interesting. Very interesting.
Buffalo had 426 rush attempts last year, divided between Josh Allen, Frank Gore, and Singletary. Frank Gore had the most of those touches. He had most of the goal line work. Gore had, I think it was 167 rushing attempts for around 600 yards. While Singletary had like 150 attempts for 775. So he had more yardage, but Frank Gore he had more. And if Zach Moss, he's younger, so he might be able to get more yardage.
He has fresher legs, Frank Gore, going at the end of his career, he's a little older, a little slower. Yeah. Zach Moss, much more speed. Yeah.
On the pass attempts, there was like 57 pass attempts to the running backs. Singletary had 41 of those. Frank Gore had 16. I know Zach Moss, in his whole college career in at Utah, he had over 4,700 yards. He had 41 touchdowns. I just see this is going to be game-to-game decision on who they use, on how they use Zach Moss and Singletary. I think Zach Moss gets more goal line work, meaning he's going to get more touchdowns. I'm a huge fan of Singletary, but Zach Moss is going to just outproduce him this year. Okay, we are almost done with the first show. I just want to say one thing before we go. This is it's our first show. We're working out all the kinks. It's a practice show. It's a pilot show, really. Thank you for dealing with my accent. I know it's really thick, but Dave is going to be picking up all the big words and stuff like that, so it's not too confusing. But listen, there's a lot of great content creators out there, a lot of great analysts, journalists, and they give you such great information. I follow a lot of them, but there's a lot of ones out there you have to watch out for. They copy information. They don't look stuff up themselves. There's no grinding involved. They're gonna tell you something like, they're going to look at the box score and see that a wide receiver went off for 100-plus yards and a touchdown. And he's going to tell you, make sure you pick him up, use him every week. He's going to do this each and every week. But he didn't use the eye test. He didn't watch the game. And that 100 yards, 70 of those yards and that touchdown came from one fluke play where the defender injured himself on the play or something like that. And he didn't know that. He didn't watch the game. And he just gave you some bullcrap information. And I don't agree with that. Each and everything me and Dave tell you is going to be honesty. It's going to be from our grinding, from our sweat. Everything that we tell you, you don't have to play, but we're playing it. Everything. We are putting money on our plays. We're putting money on ourselves. So listen, we want to have you guys come on a podcast with us. We're going to have guests. We're going to talk about everything. Please follow us on Twitter at DFS Rebels. Follow us on Facebook, DFS Rebels. Send us questions on DMs. I promise you we're going to get back to you. Listen, this is going to be a great season. We're going to have a great time. Join us on this journey. Join the rebellion. We out.